Hey everybody, my name is Mehran and welcome to another episode of The Sunday Thing. You are watching this on July the 12th, 2026, episode 27. We're over the midway hump, and it's gonna be a very nice and fun summertime here, if the heat waves allow, of course, because apparently by the time you're watching this, or maybe the day after, like the next Monday, we're anticipating another heat wave hitting France. I don't know what's going to happen, but I guess we'll know about this the next episode of The Sunday Thing. This week officially marks the beginning of me going like full-time, full-blown, like crazy music mode to work on the new album. And in order to do that, I needed to get some things checked out and organized. It is almost 1 a.m. and I want to test something, so bear with me. I have to turn off that light again, and I have to turn on the like the mood light, because I'll explain everything in a second. Just 1 second. So this is off. There should be some light, like some semblance of light here. All right. Okay. Let's change the color today to, what color is better? Let's go with like greenish. All right. So here's something that is probably going to be the theme of the next several Sunday things. Since my work is finished, I have no more meetings. I have nothing else in terms of my real job, like university, everything. From basically today, which I'm recording this on Tuesday, so 7/7/26, July the 7th. For the next probably 6 weeks, I basically have 2 or 3 main things to do other than staying alive and like thinking about my courses. I have to start planning out and engineering the album release, which will be the big theme of the next few weeks, of the next several weeks actually. Secondly, I need to like make a plan of when I will be working on which song, since another heat wave is coming through. And also, since I've gotten a new audio interface, I also want to record a bunch of cool screen capture things while I'm working, either to live stream it or to make it like a making of thing. I'm still developing this idea. And so right now, I have Cubase running, I have the audio interface running here. This cable is my guitar. This is going to be the microphone. OBS is running, and hopefully, if nothing goes wrong, you're going to be able to see me right now. And like here should be Cubase. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pick up my guitar. I should actually put I should make sure I make a headphone. Okay, I'm not doing a good job. I'm also connecting a microphone here because I want to do something that I haven't done in such a long time, and that is to record basically like a live recording of something. The timing allows me to, because it's like almost 1 a.m., it allows me to turn off my fan, headphones on. I'm going to change this so that it looks a bit closer. Hopefully it looks better, I don't know. So you should be able to hear my guitar in one of your ears. Okay, so this is my guitar, and this should be my microphone. So let me turn on the microphone. Hello, 1 2 1 2. There's the microphone. I'm going to turn off the speakers and only turn on my headphone. That way I can focus better. The guitar is definitely out of tune. I'm learning a bunch of things at the same time as you guys here. So if you see anything weird, please let me know. Where is my tuner? The tuner, okay. For this entire year, since January, I have decided to go for a lower tuning. So I'm one step, I'm D standard. All right, so this would be the guitar. For the vocals, let's add a tiny bit of vintage equalization. Hello. As well as a tiny bit of reverb. Like guitar doesn't need reverb. Ha! 1, reverb, hello, okay. Guitar has no reverb. Vocals, I just realized that I have not been recording anything in my Cubase. So, Cubase recording now. All right, Cubase is recording. Very nice. So here I have my preset set. You can see this is my analog audio. Let's add 2 audio, one of them mono 1, both mono, and one of them mono 2. So this should be my vocals, 1 2 1 2. This should be my guitar. And my go-to clean patch is my Petrucci, Archetype Petrucci by Neural DSP. The only one I've bought because it just does everything. And let's go with, like, you see, like, it has so much character. When I go single coil, you can hear the extra noise. Like, the simulation is unbelievable. All right. So let's give it a bit of a, let's remove some of the low, give it a bit of mid and a bit of treble. Very nice. I need a bit of weirdness, so let's go for some shimmer action. Let's go big stereo, maybe 30% mix with a lot of size, maybe 70 size. And let's go for dual, and let's go for dark. So, and maybe let's start from negative 15. So, can you hear it? Very nice. Let's go for maybe negative 7. I like it so far. Maybe a tiny bit of body. All right, maybe not the single coil pickup, but what I will do is I will go here. No, where's the EQ? Actually, what if I do a tiny bit of overdrive? Yeah, to give it a bit of, like, to get a bit of a grit to it. I don't know what. Hello? Okay. Something happened on the camera. I don't know if the audio is going to be better or worse. This is all a learning process. All right. Maybe I EQ it later. All right. So what we're going to do, 1 2 3 4 5 6. All right. Here's the idea. I have a song among many of the songs that I never published that I would like to give a second life to, and the song is called Sleepless, and it is an interesting song. So let's see if I can find its lyric. Even though I mostly remember the lyrics, but we'll never know. The Sleepless. There we go. I'm gonna move the lyrics to this side so you don't see it. It will be boring. So let's just record and see what happens. Look, the dawn is here, sun is coming up, the scrolls and papers are clean. Poets, lovers, all who believe in dreams, painters, jubilees, and all who know the real. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably pan this a bit to left, a bit to right. So for guitar, it should be centered. Let's add a bit of vocal chain on it. Words are clean. Poets, lovers, all who believe in dreams, painters, jubilees, and all who know the real. All right, I like it very much. Now let's record the chorus and then call it for this section, because I'm just, these are all tests, you know. Oh, the lyric. Okay. Hold me closer, I'll wipe your tears away. Restless, sleepless, notes, words, and shades of gray. Dance, dance forever, I'll have them paint your dreams This moment's monument is carved in hopes and pearls. All right, if you have seen everything that I have done, both here in my face and in Cubase, then I consider this, hold on, oops. Then I consider all of this a success. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna play this song for the performance song of the week, but I want to go above and beyond. I want to go like a bunch of guitars, a bunch of maybe even string parts, and just I want to go crazy since I have some extra time. So let me know how everything is. Back to me in the future. Now, the song of the performance song of the week is a song I never published. Maybe I will eventually like record and publish it in a way that I think is good enough. For now, I guess this is going to be one of those weeks that the song that I'm playing at the end of the show is something that I haven't released yet, which is going to be fun. I can foresee this happening a couple more times in the next several weeks since I've like lined up a bunch of ideas. Again, I'm the idea guy. Sometimes the execution gets lost in translation. Anyway, let's go back to the idea of the album, and let me take you back to essentially the step 0 of how I approach fully, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I approach fully executing the album plan. You know, if I wanted to make a list of the things that I think I'm capable of doing, well, hold on, there's a meeting above me here. Be quiet. Might be the last day event in the management school, but it definitely is something of an end of the year situation. So anyway, as I was saying, if I wanted to make a list of the things that I think I'm capable of doing, like okay, well, and not so okay, when it comes to music and songwriting and album creation, etc., yeah, there's definitely people at the end of the year thing. Anyway, brain jump. I would probably say that my best, like my most comfortable skill and my most probably worked out skill would be lyrics writing. I think of all of the things that I do in an album, at least I'd like to believe that my lyrics stand out, at least a head and shoulder above everything else. I'd like to think it that way. And that by extension, well, could mean that when I'm writing an album, when I'm working on a music project, my top priority has always been making sure that the lyrics are like at the best possible state. That is the one thing that I can guarantee. I think I sing average. I think I write maybe above average melodies and song. My production skills are probably my weakest skill, I think. And so an album is not an album if it doesn't have a name, if it doesn't have identity. That is very important for me. And so the first step of officially beginning an album is to finalize the lyrics. And I'm a very tactile person. I don't like digital notebooks. Papers for me are like the golden standard. So I'm here printing out the lyrics of the new album. And this, to me, officially states the beginning of the new album. Now, one of the biggest features of the new album is the fact that it is quite a long album. It's around 2 hours right now. I haven't cut it completely down yet, but I could completely see it go for an hour and a half. And with technically one and a half instrumental piece, it's quite lyrics heavy since it is a very personal album. It's like I'm telling a very important story. It's basically they're still clapping. What's going on? They're still applauding people. Well, cool. With like almost 2 hours of story, I wanted to make sure that, I don't leave any stones unturned. I will probably talk more about like the album in its own dedicated video, but basically, if I wanted to simplify things, this album is the one album that I never thought I would ever want to make, and the stories are something that I never thought I would ever want to tell. But I don't know where this fascination with writing longer music and, generally speaking, concept story albums, I don't know where it began. I think I might have an inkling because when I was very young, one of the first albums that I ever listened to was Pink Floyd's The Division Bell and Pink Floyd's The Wall. like the two super iconic albums, of course, next to Dark Side of the Moon, but Dark Side was relatively on the shorter side, I think 40 something minutes, which is impressive, but still, compared to the, I think 2 hours plus of The Wall and almost hour and a half of The Division Bell, in terms of pure length, I think Dark Side of the Moon takes the cake. Now, this album wasn't even supposed to be a thing. I had a couple ideas, a couple guitar riffs, and a couple what I believe to be cool lyrical ideas that for me at the time meant like, yeah, it's gonna be like a good metal, like progressive song. But then I kept writing and writing and writing, and suddenly I realized that I had written like 15 songs at sometimes at 17 minutes each. So the whole album became like a Lord of the Rings extended version playthrough. Now granted, this album is very different because tonally and color-wise it is very dark and very angry. I said it earlier that these are the stories I never thought I would ever want to say, but after what's been happening in the world, I kind of felt like they're kind of, you know, pouring out of me, they're kind of oozing out of me, they're kind of like bleeding. It is kind of like an atrophy. And so I kind of just let it go. I've let go of some of my defenses and just started writing and recording and writing and composing, and it didn't stop. It didn't stop until it stopped almost, I want to say maybe 7-8 months later from day one of writing of the album. But here we are, and I got the lyrics sheet printed out, so the next thing I have to do is to look at them while listening to the album. 5 words. I wrote 5 words on a piece of paper last year. Fill the world with teeth. I was out. It was the France's birthday, France National Day on July the 14th, 2025. And it was a moment of joy, a celebration, lots of fireworks on this side of the world, where on the other side of the world, the sky was full of lights, but it was not the kind of lights you associate with happiness. It was the kind of lights that, why am I wearing sunglasses indoors? Where's my... It was a very weird moment for me, because you think you live your life learning to walk through different stages of any kind of emotion, any kind of feeling. And you think as you're growing up and as you're growing older, you're gaining enough experience to be able to navigate those crazy seas, right? And that's what I felt as well. However, based on what was going on in the world for the past year and a half, I realized that I am experiencing some feelings that I am unable to, fend off. I'm unable to absorb and just let it pass through me. And they stayed with me. And so I remembered a bunch of traumas from my life from a very young age all the way until 5 years ago. They came back, and this time they were carrying music with them. And that essentially is the birthplace, the idea birthplace of this album. Anger, unresolved emotions, and angst. In a couple of seconds, we'll go back to me in the future, but I just wanted to tell you about the origin of the name of the album and what kind of stories you should be expecting to see in that album. So back to me in the future, present, future, you know what I mean? So as you saw, this album that I'm working on right now, tonally and music-wise is very different. It's very it's extremely serious. It's very angry. You haven't heard a lot of it. Every once in a while, I might have spruced in and spiced in some of the parts of the album, but it's very aggressive, it's very heavy, it's very progressive, it's quite long, and I don't know if I will be able to finish this album. I really hope I do, because it's going to be a huge undertaking. I have the gear, I have the desire to work on music. My question is, just because this album needs to be, I want to record this album, does anybody really need to hear things like this right now in this current state of the world? I don't know, but I will probably know within the next several weeks, because I'm starting a new video series from next week. I haven't really found a name for it. Since I had gig vlog, maybe I go with album vlog, even though it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But we've already shot a bunch of like thumbnail photos for the like 10 episodes, I believe, that I have planned. And in each episode, I will probably take you behind the scenes, play you some of the songs, talk to you about some of the lyrics, the ideas, the approaches, the gear that I use. I think it's going to be a fun idea for an album, like for like a bunch of video, like behind the scene things for an album. But again, these are ideas. We'll see if in execution I will be able to keep it up. So far, I've been able to keep up the geek vlogs and the Sunday Thing videos every Sunday. So I think I got the thing. I think I got the motivation. I'm currently waiting for Alexandre to come back to Strasbourg. She's traveling because I need her voice on some of the songs. I might record them earlier, which could be a cool idea for a video as well. Anyway, the song of the week that you're going to be hearing is called Sleepless, and it is a part of a story album that I wrote many over a decade ago for an old ex-girlfriend of mine. And the idea behind Sleepless was extremely heavily inspired by like the Renaissance paintings and like the 15th century art design, like parties, events, lute, you know, like the musical instrument. Of course, you're going to be hearing like half of the song, almost half of the song, but maybe I'll tell the story of this, like of this whole project later, because I always wanted to make longer albums. I don't like to create a piece of music that is like consumer friendly, like 3 minutes or 4 minutes, just for the ears of the modern listener. I kind of want what I want to say, and as you probably have seen in the past almost a decade now, 8 years, I'm kind of a rambly person when it comes to things I like, and it sometimes reflects the same way in my music. So like the idea of writing longer music has always been something that I've been fascinated by, and I think I'm getting closer to executing one of my biggest ambitions, which is like a big epic rock cinematic metal, like crazy album. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me this week. I hope you're having an awesome time. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying safe wherever you are, whenever you are. And in general, I just hope that the vibes are good. And if they're not good enough, I hope they get good enough very soon. It's getting very hot here. I hope that like there's not a lot of noise here. I have like one fan here and one fan be like behind me, blowing air. Like there is blowing air. I don't know if you can see it. And because it's getting crazy. I don't know how am I gonna record the vocals with this, but that's a problem for the future. I might have a couple other solutions for that. Enjoy Sleepless. I will be seeing you next week. Just stay awesome. Thank you for watching. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. If what you're seeing makes sense to you and you'd like to see more of this kind of thing, it would be super cool if you could do the YouTube thing and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow the channel to 500 subscribers. Right now I'm just a little bit over 400. So anything like you can do would be like a simple subscription would be way cooler than what you'd imagine. Thank you so far. Thank you so much. Thank you so far. Thank you so much. I will be seeing you next week. Take care and peace.
The dawn is near, sun is coming up. The scrolls and papers are clean. Poets, lovers, all who believe in dreams. Painters, jubilees, and all who know the real. They stop and watch you as you pass by. All they know is in your eyes. Kneel and ask in one last dance. Enjoy the final moments here. Hold me closer, I'll wipe your tears years away. Restless, sleepless, notes, words, and shades of gray. Dance, dance forever. I'll have them paint your dreams. This moment's monument is carved in hope and pearls.
While filming the wide angle, lens kind of came down, so if there was something weird, I apologize. Anyway, I like the way this song sounds. Things are moving forward. I like it. Hope you had fun watching it too. See you next week.